Well, in the last couple of videos, I put a new exhaust system on from the header all the way back to the tailpipe. But before I did that, I did notice that my clutch had started to slip. It was more noticeable with the new exhaust system on because I think I'm getting a bit more power, a bit more torque. So the engine and gearbox has to come out. So to help me along with that process, I put the checklist on getting everything out up on my whiteboard here. First of all, I need to get the parts, and then I just went through all the process that I have to do to get the engine and gearbox out of the car. So I already have the parts. They're already checked off. I thought I had a red dry erase marker, but I don't. The one thing I need to make sure is that I remove the ground strap. That's why it's in a different color. I didn't do it last time, and yeah, just caused a couple of issues. Nothing major, but I want to make sure I do remember to do that. So I'm replacing the clutch, but you may be wondering, why am I showing you the new master cylinder and a replacement gauge? I decided to replace this a long time ago. I just haven't got around to it yet. I'll put a link above to the video where I showed what's happened to the top and explain why I'm replacing it. But seeing as I have to disconnect the clutch line, which comes out of this port here, I figured I may as well disconnect the brake line as well, put in the new master cylinder. I have to remove the radiator, which means I have to disconnect the sender for the temperature gauge. So I may as well replace that at the same time as well. I just realized one thing I forgot to put up on my list over there on the door is remove the radiator, because that'll have to come out before the engine can come out. So there's briefly what I'm going to try and get done in this video. So the first thing I'm going to do, jack up the car on both ends and get the bonnet or the nose ready to remove. I think it's 4 bolts and 2 plugs, and it's all ready to come off. Okay, I've got the car all jacked up. I think I'm going to take the front wheels off because that'll make it a little easier to get to the bolts for the hinges on the front. Now I only have to remove these 2 on each side and then unplug these 2 plugs. I'll undo the bolts with the bonnet down, and obviously I'll have to do this with the bonnet up so I can reach it. But I think I'll take the front wheels off to give me a little better access to those bolts. And in case you're wondering about the hinges, these were a prototype from Q1 Classic Engineering, and I'll put a link in the description below as to where you can get these. I've had them on the car since I put it together, and they've been working just great. Right, got the wheels off on both sides. I have the harness unplugged, so I'll just drop the bonnet down now, remove the bolts, then I'll lift the bonnet off with some help and just set it at the other end of the garage there. Well, my help arrived and I got the bonnet off the car, and I've got it sitting on a moving blanket at the back here, so it's out of the way. Got the air cleaner off, and I've put on my little bar here. My idea is to just, as I did with when I installed the header, is just move the whole intake or the whole carburetor setup just off to the side. That way I don't have to disconnect the throttle cable or the choke cable, and everything will go back on as it was. It also doesn't disturb all the linkage, so it'll be good. So next up is just drain all the fluids and disconnect all the bits and pieces. I'll have to remove the duct here, get it out of the way, and that. So let's just get to work with a whole bunch of fiddly stuff. One of the things I have to do to be able to remove the engine and gearbox, I have to get the gear shift lever off. So that's just a matter of popping the carpet out removing the four screws for the cover here, loosening the knob itself, and then we can pull everything apart. Well, that's everything inside the car, I think. I've got the tower cover off. I've got the gear shift lever out. I have the two transmission mount bolts. There's one there and one on the other side. That's them sitting up top there. So I think that's everything inside the car. And I usually just try and put the bolts and screws back in their original spot so I don't lose them. And yeah, I think we're good to go on this side. So I've got the engine oil drained. I've got the gearbox draining right now. So next up is to drain the radiator. Right, I also have the exhaust disconnected here. And I think the nice thing about this header system with the spring connections or the slip fits, I'll be able to pull the engine with the header still installed, so I don't have to go through all the fiddly stuff with this nut here. Okay, I've got all the bolts for the drive shaft disconnected. There's just a couple more things to do underneath the car. I have to remove this former exhaust bracket here. I'll take that off, and then just over the pipe there, you can see there's two bolts that go up through the transmission out. Those will have to come out. And once that's done and the coolant's drained, I'll be ready to get things pulled out of the car. Let's do a quick update on the checklist here. So I've already got the parts. I've removed the nose. I've drained the fluids. I have disconnected the drive shaft. I've removed the carbs. Removed the header springs. And what else have I done here? All right, I don't think I've got anything else off the list yet. I've got a couple of the transmission mount bolts done, so that's half done. So we're making good progress. Oh, and I've removed the ground strap. Well, I got the radiator drained, but made a bit of a mess here when I discovered that the radiator I put in recently, and I'll put a link to that video just up above, doesn't have a drain plug in it. So that made things a little interesting. Anyway, I'll clean that up. So I've removed the sender for the temperature gauge, which I will be replacing. So now I'm going to disconnect and remove this radiator hose. I will disconnect the two heater hoses. So there's a one here and one here. I'll get them off. I've already disconnected the bottom radiator hose, which is how I drain the system. Once I've got all the hoses disconnected, I will then remove the radiator. There's 4 bolts for that. There's one here, and then 2 on the other side as well. Once I've got the radiator out of the way, we're one step closer to getting the engine and gearbox out. Okay, that's the radiator out of the way, along with the radiator hoses. Now, before I finish up all the removal from up top here, there's a couple of things I need to do underneath. There's an exhaust bracket I need to take off, and the transmission bolts that go up through the floor. So I'll get those out and then come back up top and move some stuff out of the way. Oh, and the other thing I have to do while I'm underneath there, disconnect the hydraulic line to the clutch slave cylinder. I've got everything done underneath. I've got the 2 transmission bolts removed. I have the slave cylinder disconnected, and I have that exhaust bracket out of the way. The reason that one had to come off is because it curves underneath the frame rail, and I'm not going to need that anyway. So next up, I'm going to disconnect all the engine mounts at the front. I'm going to disconnect the alternator, the oil pressure line. I've already got the hose clamps off. I've got to disconnect that. I will probably pop the distributor cap off, and maybe even just move I'll probably pop the distributor cap off and maybe even remove the coil just to get it out of the way. But other than that, oh, and then remove the wire for the starter. And then I should be good to lift the whole thing out. I've got the motor mount on the right-hand side of the engine, these two bolts or nuts are loose. The three that hold the actual mount itself to the body are all out, and there's one nut in behind there, and that one's loose on that side. On the other side, I've left the mount tight because it kind of interferes with the steering column, so it doesn't go anywhere anyway. I've removed the nut that's in behind, and these are all loose here. So theoretically, I should be able to kind of lift and jiggle and get the front of the engine out. Now, before I can do that, I'm going to pop the valve cover off, find my lifting hooks, and get them mounted on here. And then I think we're all good to go. I've disconnected all the wires from the car. Oh, I still have to do the oil line. I'm going to be okay leaving the coil there, I think. I've taken the distributor cap and the rotor off, so that frees that up. So I think I'm good to go. Well, that's a little annoying, as I couldn't find my lifting hooks. I know they're here somewhere, but I really need to get this out of here tonight. So I've just got my chain bolted directly to the top studs on the block. Put a washer underneath just to make sure, and be able to lift that. Well, this probably isn't the ideal setup, but I think we'll be good for now. Well, okay, it's getting stuck on that one there. Just let that down a bit. Nope, that might come up now. I don't want to do that. It's lifting the car up. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to loosen off that other motor mount here. So I'll get that done. This is always a bit of a nervous time, but we'll get it done. Helps if you use the right socket. Let's see if that helps us a bit. Much better. Okay, that one's loosened up. That'll give us some better. There we go. All right, so I've got the two main things out of the way. Now I have to get it up over the cross member here. I can pull it back a bit. Now I'm going to try and pull it a little bit to the passenger side. The oil pan has to clear the main cross member. Oh, I just remembered something. Speedometer cable. All right, I got to get back underneath the car. All right, I'm glad I remembered that. So the speedometer cable's now disconnected. Transmission dropped off the back of its mount there. You can see right here, the oil pan's just hitting that cross member. So I've got to get it up a little higher. My header is clearing the steering column. Okay, that. I'm just getting some stuff out of the way here. There. We're not pulling it with us. Now the next obstacle is going to be the steering rack. Okay, I've got the engine out. I just have to lower it onto the little cart. And then I can get the gearbox off. There, now I've got it safely out of the car and onto the cart. So first thing, I'm going to take the starter off and then get all the bolts off, and then I can pull the gearbox off the engine, and that engine will settle right back down onto the cart. Now I have the engine and gearbox out of the car. I've got everything separated, and it doesn't look like there's any significant kind of oil contamination in the clutch at all, so I'm very happy about that. The flywheel, however, is a little suspect. It's really shiny. There's a couple of gouges on it. So I'm taking that in tomorrow to get machined. Once that gets back, I can start putting things back together. And also, while the engine's out, I'm going to give the engine compartment a really good clean. It's looking a little worse for wear. Well, that's it for this video. While the flywheel's off getting resurfaced, I'm going to get the engine bay all cleaned up so that I can be ready to put everything all back together. If you want to see where this project started, I'll put a link to that video up in the top corner. Go and check that out. And then when you've done that, you can catch up on the previous video down in the bottom corner. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to share it with your friends, leave a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget that little bell icon. Click on that, you get notified when the next video comes out. My name is Ian. This is the Econobox Garage. We'll see you next time.